Hey, right, time to catch up with the latest odds. Thanks to BetMGM.
It's showtime on talkSPORT with BetMGM. Get ready for the golden era of sports betting. Visit betmgm.co.uk or download the app. 18 plus gambleaware.org.
And we're joined now by Sean Martin from BetMGM to look at today's top sporting events and discuss the latest odds. Good morning to you, Sean.
Morning, guys. How are we?
Very good, thank you. We know you're a big Celtic fan. Martin O'Neill bowed out with victory over Dundee last night, and after Hearts drew with Kilmarnock, Celtic now joint top with a game in hand. Has he done enough in 8 games to make himself relevant, appealing for another job outside Celtic? Are you reluctant to see him go?
I am reluctant to see him go, yeah. He was already the greatest Celtic manager of my lifetime, and although I said to Jim and Simon I was a bit reticent about bringing him back in as an interim manager, he's been brilliant, and he's hopefully cemented that legacy that bit tighter with the younger fan base in particular, who I don't think have truly experienced his first spell and what that meant. So yeah, fantastic to see him sign off with a win, and it's a hard act to follow, I've got to say.
Well, the man who's going to have to follow it is Wilfried Nancy, and he's been speaking for the first time to Celtic TV.
Really excited, simple as that. I like to say when there is a good challenge in front of me, I like to tell my players and to my family and myself that you have to be excited by that. And I am really excited by to join this club, this historic club. I've been following this club for many years, and I had also many players, few players like Victor Wanyama and Alistair Johnston also. I watched so many games with the atmosphere, with the fans, with all the story behind this club. So I'm really proud of that. Obviously, there is a lot of excited moment to come, but looking forward to embrace this moment and to enjoy it.
And he'll be expected to win the league now, won't he, Sean? So what are the odds on that?
Yeah, I mean, just to fill you in, Sam, on what I've previously said to Jim and Simon, so I'm not contradicting myself, I'm not going to pretend it wasn't one of the more underwhelming appointments that we spoke about. But, time to get behind him. Let's see what he's good at. Let's see what he's got, and good to be able to fully focus on the Hearts game on Sunday, Roma midweek, and then a League Cup final next weekend as well. As you say, we're level on points. We are heavy odds on to win both the Premiership, which is 2-11, and the League Cup final next weekend against St Mirren. That's 10-1
on. Last night's Premier League action obviously took up the first sections of our programme this morning. It was compelling, wasn't it? Some big results, including victory for Arsenal, which sends them 5 points clear at the top of the table. What has that done to the odds?
Yeah, so first of all, self-praise is no praise, I know, but the broken clock adage was wheeled out this morning, because the treble that I tipped on yesterday's show actually landed at 11-2. That was Palace and Forest to win away and both teams to score in the Brighton Villa game. So I hope a few folk got on that. Incidentally, Villa's win pushed them into third, but doesn't affect their odds to make the top 4. They're at 9-2, which is the same as yesterday. A good draw for Sunderland, have to mention that, at Anfield, and it was rotation really for Arsenal, but it didn't really matter. Another solid win, and they remain odds on for the title, guys. And of course, big win for Leeds over Chelsea at Elland Road. Matt Gibson, borderline insufferable about that this morning.
I've heard on the group chat he's been thrashing a few little memes around. Yeah, he's pretty proud of himself.
Yeah, maybe not borderline insufferable, maybe just insufferable about that this morning. But it does pile a wee bit of pressure on West Ham to maybe go and get something tonight at Old Trafford, doesn't it?
West Ham have to get something, really, don't they? Because they're in the bottom 3 going into that game against a Manchester United team that have been, well, let's just say in and out. Some good performances and some indifferent ones, but they can go above Liverpool with a victory.
They can. They're quietly closing in top 6. Sam, they lost just 1-7, unbeaten in 17, I think it is, midweek Premier League home games coming into this. West Ham, obviously a slight upturn in form under Nuno Espirito Santo, but yet to win an away match under him. And ironically, the only away match they have won this season was against Forest when Nuno was the Forest manager. Good record against United recently, mind you. Beat them at Old Trafford in May, I think it was. And some might be tempted by odds of almost 6-1 for them to do it again tonight. The draw is at 4-1. United favourites at 4-9. Interestingly, by the way, we were talking about this morning. Bruno Fernandes never scored against West Ham in his 14 appearances against them. It's the team he's faced most in his entire career without scoring. If listeners fancy that that's going to end tonight, than a United win and Bruno anytime scorer comes in at around about 2.5 to 1, guys, or make it first goal scorer, and that stretches it out to 6 to 1.
Interesting. Simon, you've been on a bit of a run with your predictions. What do you reckon about tonight, Manchester United against West Ham, live on talkSPORT?
Who do I think will win? Manchester United.
For what reason?
I think we're a better side than West Ham. I think West Ham aren't, a particularly good side. Nuno's getting them together a little bit, but I think Man United, having just beaten Crystal Palace in what was most people's expectation would have been a much more difficult game than they made of it. I think they'll just beat West Ham because they're a better side. West Ham will have to pick up points against lesser opposition, in my view.
Well, West Ham in a situation where they just don't score enough goals or look like they're ever going to score a goal. It was a poor performance, I thought.
Well, Callum Wilson's beginning to get going, isn't he? I mean, he seems to have gotten back into favour because there was a period of time where he didn't even seem to get into the starting lineup, or even with Nuno, and there was a debate whether he was being fancied by Nuno because he wasn't his signing. But Callum Wilson, when fit, is a good player.
Yeah, Fulkrug's fit as well now. Came off the bench during the game against Liverpool. Tomorrow we've got the World Cup draw for you on talkSPORT. Talk me through this. Obviously, we don't know what's going to happen. We can't predict what's going to happen, but we can tell you this, that England, Spain, France and Argentina will get nowhere near one another until the semi-finals, quite probably.
I'll be glued to the screen tomorrow around about 5 o'clock, I think it is. See who Scotland draw. It's 12 groups of 4. I wondered if you would.
I love you got that straight in there. Brilliant. Well done. Listen, congratulations. It was a great night, by the way, that night that they beat Denmark. It was a brilliant night of football. But anyway, who's going to win it?
We'll get to that. I mean, it's 12 groups of 4 pots in the draw, one team from each pot in a group. England, obviously, in pot 1, Scotland in pot 3, and if Wales or Northern Ireland or the Republic of Ireland get there, they'll be in pot 4. Spain very much pre-tournament favourites at this stage. They're at 9 to 2. England second favourites, slightly further out at 13 to 2. Then it's France at 7s and both Argentina and Brazil at 8s. I can tell Simon's on tenterhooks here for where to put his money next summer, so I can confirm Stevie Clark's Tartan Army, Simon, are a 250 to 1 banker. But I must.
Well, I know I'm going to put my money on you lot guys going home at the group stage.
Maybe.
Well, actually saying
I
that,
don't think they will.
Actually saying that, I mean, if you can't get out of a situation where there's 32 teams coming out of 48 teams, then they should be embarrassed. I think Scotland will get through to the
I thought they'd get out
group
of the
stages. They get
actually,
smashed in the qualifying.
Probably should have done, actually.
At the Euros, I was there last year.
I thought they should have got out of the group at the Euros, yeah.
This year?
They should have done.
Last year?
Yeah.
Well, after getting bashed to pieces by the Germans.
Yeah, well, that was obviously a terrible result, but they should have been out.
And doing nothing against the Hungarians.
Well, exactly.
Well, this is the point. Yeah, this is the point. My overriding aim for the tournament's to have Robertson and Gibson embracing their Scottish heritage before the tournament's
And
out.
Barnes.
But I was as I say, I was in Germany for the Euros last year. It was absolutely brilliant, aside from the performances on the pitch. Only speaking for myself here, but I'm not just happy to make up the numbers this time. I want to see a bit of intent to go and win games regardless of who we draw tomorrow.
I commentated the game
actually,
against Germany with Ali McCoist, and Ali McCoist is the most buoyant and excitable man in history, and it's the first time I've ever spent an evening with him, and he was down. That's how bad that performance was. Okay, go on then, give us your odds.
No, I was just going to say that on that topic, have you done or seen any draw simulators, Sam? Because I know he's prepared for these kind of thing. I done one yesterday, and no joke, I'm not making this up. I only done it once. It threw up England, Senegal, Scotland in a playoff qualifier, which I would take, to be fair, given we beat you guys 0-0 in the Euros a couple of years ago.
Yeah, I haven't done any of those simulators, but you know what? It'll be great. It'd be great for television, wouldn't it? You know, to have that match up in the United States or in Mexico or in Canada, wherever it is going to be. Thank you very much, Sean. That was a look at the latest odds. Well, thanks to BetMGM. Visit betmgm.co.uk or download the app. 18+, begambleaware.org.